Uh, Today's topic is Letter to God. Letter to God is a topic taken from the first flight story written by G.L. Fluents revolves around the idea of having unquestionable belief in something. The story is set in Latin American country. Lanco the farmer, who is protagonist of the story, writes a letter to God seeking help from Almighty after discovering his entire crop ill destroyed by the devastating hailstorm. Although his wishes get fulfilled partially, if not completely, he is grateful in the end and questions the honesty and modesty of the postmasters who actually helped him with money in the name of God. Friends, uh, we are explaining about Letter to God summary. The story Letter to God by G.L. Fluentes depicts unwavering faith of farmer in God. It begins with a farmer named Lancho expecting for rain shower to nourish his field of corn. He is confident that his harvest is going to yield him huge profit just like it does every year. To his utmost excitement, rainfall did happen, but sooner. It turned into the hailstorm, destroying his entire crop field. The damage posed a threat to the family's survival as their entire livelihood was dependent on the year's produce. Although disheartened, the family had robust belief in Almighty. Lanchud, despite having worked day and night at the field, knew how to write and thus decided to write a letter to God explaining his situation and asking for help. He went to the town to post his letter addressed to God. The letter, on being noticed by the postmaster, at first amused him, but then motivated him want to do something for the farmer so as to keep his immense belief intact. He contributes from his salary and collects money from his colleagues and friends who willingly contributed for an act of charity. To his dismay, he could not only collect 70 pesos, which he wrapped in an envelope to make it seem like a reply from the deity. On having found the letters, the writer Lancho is not at all shocked, but instead he gets angry on finding that the amount is less than what he has expected. He again writes a letter to God conveying his disappointment and disturbed in the employees of post office who he thought had stolen the remaining amount. The house explanation of the story. The house, the only one in the entire valley, set on crest of Law Hill. From this height, one could see the river and field of ripe corn dotted with flowers that always promised a God harvest. The only thing the earth needed a downpour or at least a sower. Throughout the morning, Lanko, who knew his field intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Lanko the farmer lived on the only house that was there on top of the hill. The hill was low heighted. From there a river and ready to harvest cornfield were visible. The field belonged to Lanko and has to the utmost confident that the harvest would reap great profits. The only thing that he awaited was rainfall. In this hope, he spent an entire morning gazing at a sky northeast direction from where Diesel was expected to soar on his field. Now we are really going to get some water woman. The woman who preparing super reply, yes, God will. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller one were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, come for dinner. It was during the meal that just as Lanko had predicted. Big drops of rain began to fall in the northeast. Huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have a pleasure of being the rain on his body. And then as he returned, he exclaimed, "There aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces, and the little ones are fives." Now, what meanings? Cry out, exclaimed, means cry out suddenly in surprise. A letter to God, which is that the Lanko was the great devotee of God, was the first conclusion because he writes the letter to God confidently without thinking that God will send or not send the money. This was totally dependent on Lanko's belief. To this argument, I would like to conclude that video of the chapter A Letter to God by J.L. Fluentes. And thanks for your like, comments, and subscription. And also, your venerable suggestion will be regarded, and we will discuss another video again. Thank you and have a nice day.